Between the opposition chief Raila Odinga and retired President Kibaki is currently underway at the former president's residence in Muthaiga. This is the latest in a series of high-profile meetings that the former prime minister has been holding with various leaders. Last week, Odinga visited retired President, that is Moi, at the latter's Kabrak home, a meeting that has led to a lot of political speculation. Sam Ogina has been following these stories. Now in Muthaiga, Sam Ogina, if you can hear me, do you know who else is at that meeting and what the agenda could be?
Rightly so, Gituku. The details remain scanty on exactly what the agenda of the meeting is, but right outside here, the Muthaiga home of the former president, that is Mwai Kibaki, let me just take you through on some of the attendees for this particular meeting. A high-profile meeting, as you said, and of course, apart from the opposition chief Raila Odinga, the other individuals who are attending this particular meeting is the Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko, Kisumu Governor, that is Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, and also interesting names here because I'm seeing Laikipia Governor Nderitu Mureithi, as well as the head of public service Joseph Kinyua, equally attending that particular meeting here at Muthaiga, as well as Stephen Kirogo, an officer from the office of the cabinet, that is, and as well as Paul Mwangi, who acts as the opposition chief lawyer or strategist, as well as Jimmy Kibaki. Going through those names, that is around 7 individuals attending this particular meeting here at Muthaiga. So given the names that we are seeing attending this particular meeting, actually very interesting names, we really do not know what exactly is the agenda for this particular meeting, given that even the head of public service is attending this particular meeting here today. But of course, from the previous meetings that we've seen, starting with the handshake, the famous handshake at the steps of Harambee House with President Uhuru Kenyatta, the narrative has been that it is time to bury the hatchet and sort out the political nemesis within the country's political landscape and move forward as a country, so that there is that unity, saying that it is time that the country moves from divisive politics. It is time that the country moves from ethnic divisions each and every particular election year. And of course, that is the same message that was actually moved, or actually pushed forward when the opposition chief met with retired President Daniel Moi at his Kabarak home. So these meetings that have been currently happening, or rather that the opposition chief has been championing lately, of course, a lot of people reading say mischief, depending on where you sit really. Others are reading mischief, others are saying it is actually something good for the country, but particularly for the supporters of Deputy President William Ruto, it has not gone down well with them, saying that the maneuvers that the former Prime Minister is actually orchestrating in the political landscape somewhat is probably himself trying to angle for the 2022 presidential race. If he will be in that particular race is anyone's guess, but at the moment, of course, high-profile meetings that can actually just leave anyone to guess precisely on what is the agenda of the former Prime Minister, whether to unite the country, whether he is preparing himself for 2022, or whether he's also preparing his kin for 2022. That is, of course, anyone's guess, Gituku.
And Sam, for how long has this meeting been going on? And do you have any indication whether there will be a press conference at least now to inform the country on what the agenda was, so that the speculation that you just talked about is dispelled of some sort?
Remember, Gituku, that the first meeting actually took place at Capitol Hill, and that was the opposition chief meeting with Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko and Kisumu Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. That meeting that happened from around 11 in the morning to around 12 thereabout. Of course, from there they moved from Capitol Hill in Upper Hill all the way here to Muthaiga. We understand by around 12:30 they were here. So give and take around 45 minutes for that particular meeting here at Muthaiga. Of course, what we know, or what we understand, is there will be a statement that will be issued by the spokesman of the former president, that is Mwai Kibaki. The spokesman, Ngari Gituku, might be issuing a statement on the meeting here today, essentially breaking it down on exactly what is it that the two gentlemen will be, or the two gentlemen have talked about, have agreed, and the way forward, Gituku.
All right, thank you so much, Sam, and stick to that story so that you can tell us really what Gituku and